Emma was a small and curious girl. Her eyes shined with light. She had a blue hair clip and a red dress. She always looked happy. Every morning, she talked to the flowers and watched the butterflies. One sunny morning, Emma was walking in her garden. While she was watering the flowers, she saw something shining in the soil. She bent down and found a little golden key. The key was so bright that it looked like a star in her hand. When Emma touched it, the sky filled with colorful clouds. The wind sang a soft song, and suddenly a big door appeared on the old tree in her garden. Emma felt her heart beat fast. She was excited, but also brave. She opened the door and stepped inside. Behind the door, there was a wonderful land full of colorful flowers. The flowers were singing, and the butterflies were dancing like tiny stars in the air. Emma looked around with big eyes. A long path was waiting for her. She followed the path, and soon she was inside a magical forest. The trees were very tall, and drops of light were falling from their branches. When they touched the ground, they sparkled. Suddenly, big jumping stones appeared in front of her. The stones were bouncing, rolling, and closing the way like they wanted to play. Emma didn't feel afraid. She laughed and jumped with them. She moved with the stones, and it was like a funny game. After a while, the stones moved away and gave her the way. The forest became brighter, and the wind sang more beautifully. Emma walked deeper and deeper. At the end of the path, there was a shining lake. The water was blue and purple, and stars were dancing on the surface. In the middle of the lake, there was a golden island. Around the island, big bubbles were flying. Inside the bubbles, tiny colorful animals were singing. Emma watched them with joy. Then she stepped onto one of the bubbles. It carried her gently into the sky. She jumped from bubble to bubble and felt like she was flying. When she looked down, the lake looked like a big mirror of the sky. The bubbles brought her to the golden island. It was so bright that Emma wanted to close her eyes, but her curiosity was stronger. In the middle of the island, she saw a small box. When Emma came closer, the box opened by itself. From inside, hundreds of lights flew out and went up into the sky. They made a rain of stars that lit up the whole lake. Emma lifted her hands and smiled as she watched the lights. Then the bubbles carried her back to the shore. Her heart was full of happiness. Emma continued walking and saw a huge mountain. The top of the mountain was higher than the clouds, and big crystals were shining there. She wanted to climb it. The mountain was not normal. Each step changed color, and the rocks made music. Birds were flying around her, and the wind sang sweet songs. When Emma came close to the top, the sky became dark and the wind grew strong. The crystals started to move and shine with bright light. Emma's heart was full of excitement. At the very top, she saw a giant crystal door. The light from it was so strong that it turned the night into day. Emma walked bravely to the door. At that moment, the biggest crystal flew into the sky and broke into thousands of pieces. The pieces fell down like rain, but they were shining like stars. Emma walked between the lights as if she was inside a dream. She stepped through the crystal door. Suddenly, she was in a colorful castle. The walls were made of rainbows, and every step shined with a new color. The chandeliers were made of stars, and tiny birds of light flew around the rooms. Emma walked slowly, looking at everything with wonder. In the middle of the castle, there was a big hall. In the center of the hall, a giant key floated in the air. It looked just like the small key she found in her garden. Circles of light turned around it, and rainbow colors covered the walls. When Emma moved closer to the key, the whole hall became bright. A path of light appeared. The path went out of the castle and led Emma back to the tree door. Emma opened her eyes and found herself again in her garden. She still had the small key in her hand, but something was different. The flowers looked brighter. The The sky looked bluer, and the wind sounded like music. Emma took a deep breath. She didn't know if her adventures were real or just a dream, but she was sure of one thing. Even a small key could take her to a big, magical world.